originated in UK and Portugal, and they actually took it from the king of pastries, France. From Portugal, it traveled along because the Portuguese people, they were always exploring new countries, and therefore they traveled and they came to a place called Ganzhou in China, and that is where these people they started making the egg tart. From there, then it traveled to Hong Kong, it traveled to Macau, Singapore, and everywhere. Chinese people enjoy this a lot, and it is really tasty. Basically, it has got outer cover, and inside is the custard. So the outer cover, the tart, could be of short crust pastry, it could be of a sweet paste, or it could be a puff pastry. The Chinese, they have a special way of making the puff pastry, and it is called the Chinese puff pastry, where they use more oil to make the pastry. So if you go to Portugal, it is called pastel de nata, and there the tart is basically made with puff pastry. And if you come here this side, China, say Macau, Hong Kong, etc., you might get a egg tart which has puff pastry, which is called the Chinese puff pastry, or basically a sweet paste, which I am going to do right now. Okay, now I am going to show you the ingredients for the pastry. That is the ingredients for the filling I am going to show you later. Right now, the ingredients for the filling for the pastry are 120 grams of refined flour here we have. Then I have 60 grams of butter. I have 55 grams of icing sugar, a pinch of salt, and 1 egg yolk. If I require extra, I am going to take another egg and take a little bit of the egg yolk, and I am going to add vanilla essence. Okay, what I am going to do is I am going to work on the table. So here we have 120 grams of refined flour here. Then this is icing sugar. The reason for using icing sugar here is the liquid is very less. The amount of liquid which you are going to add to bind this pastry together is just 1 egg yolk. So therefore, the powder sugar or the grain sugar obviously is not going to melt or dissolve. So therefore, icing sugar is used here. Then there is a little bit of salt. I am going to use butter now here. And how we make a short crust pastry by the rub-in method, I am going to use that method here. Keep coating the butter, and I am going to use a palette knife. If you want, you can use a dough scraper. Now I am just using my fingertips to rub in the butter into the flour and icing sugar. Now what is the difference? Apart from the pastry I told you, in Portugal they use the puff pastry, and in China they use sweet paste or the Chinese puff pastry. There is another difference. The difference is that in Portugal, the surface of the egg tart will have caramelized sugar. Whereas, if you eat the egg tart in Singapore or Hong Kong, you will find a nice glossy shine on top of the egg tart. So, that is the difference between these two pastries. In Hong Kong, the size of the egg tart are small. So normally when you ask them for egg tarts, they will give you 3 on a plate. Whereas in Ganzhou, in China, the size of the egg tart is big. So the portion size will be just maybe 1. But you can easily eat those small egg tarts, maybe 2 or 3 at a time. They have this for breakfast. There is a bakery in Macau which is called the Andrew Stowe Bakery. Okay, it was started in 1989 by Mr. Andrew Stowe, and then his wife, first his girlfriend, then his wife, Margaret, and today they make about 13,000 egg tarts per day. Unbelievable. So you can imagine how these people, Chinese people and also everybody enjoys the egg tarts. Now here, can you see this mixture here? It is like, sandy texture it has got, or can we say breadcrumb texture. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the egg yolk. I'm going to add a little bit of essence here. I'm going to there's no need to beat up the egg yolk or anything because it's just one egg yolk. Now I'm going to very carefully bind it together. I told you in the beginning, if I think that I need some extra moisture here to bind the flour, I'm going to use a little more egg yolk. There's no water here. Okay, now can you see? I didn't require the extra egg yolk. One egg yolk was sufficient to bring everything together. Do not handle this too much. If you wish, you can also keep this in the fridge for some time. But I'm not going to keep it in the fridge. I'm immediately going to line the molds. There's no rolling here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small portion here. And I'm going to line these. So just take this much and press it here and keep pressing and bring up the dough. Not too thick, not too thin. Just see that the thickness, it is not too thick at the base. That is it. What I'm going to do is now the extra, I'm just going to take it out. As you can see, what we have done is we have lined 6 molds. Now these are special molds. Can you see this? Slightly bigger ones. But if you don't have them, you can just put in any mold like patty tins or anything. And then we are going to blind bake it a little bit. Okay. So what we will do is we'll put some rajma to weigh them down. Now it will go in a hot oven at about 180 degrees centigrade till it is baked. Okay, now I'm going to show you the ingredients which we are going to use for the filling. Now here we have 90 grams of yolks. We have taken about 5 yolks. Then we have 70 grams of castor sugar here. Okay. This is 100 ml of cream and this is 140 ml of milk. Okay. And of course vanilla essence. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix all these ingredients in a bowl. So here we have taken a bowl here. Okay. And in that what I'm going to do is first and foremost I'm going to add the yolks. Then what I'm going to do is add the sugar. One thing you must remember when you're making these custards, do not whisk it too much because we do not want air bubbles, okay? We do not want too much of froth. So therefore, can you see I'm very lightly just mixing the sugar and the yolks. Then I'm going to add the cream, fresh cream. Again, lightly mix. A little bit of vanilla essence. Now here you can use chocolate. You can use green tea. Okay, just as a different flavor instead of vanilla. you see not many air bubbles? I'm taking great care to see that there are no air bubbles. And last, I'm going to add the milk. That's it. The filling is ready. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this mixture. Okay. You know, for various reasons. Cream in the milk. Then skin. Suppose you have left the egg yolks open like this. There could be skin formation on the egg yolk. And of course impurities in the sugar. And also by straining we will try and remove if there is any froth in the mixture. So I keep this separately here. And then I will strain this. Because we have used caster sugar, it is all melted, dissolved. Now can you see this here? There are some lumps here, blobs of cream here. So basically we want a very smooth texture when we are eating the egg tart. So therefore it is very crucial that you strain the mixture. After that, what I am going to do is I am going to put it in the mug so that I can pour it easily. I can pour it very easily in the baked egg tarts. Now here can you see this? The egg tarts are blind baked. Now I am going to pour this custard very carefully. I have to fill it right up to the brim. Okay. Just be a little careful that you don't spill it. Do this near the oven so that you can just place it carefully inside the oven and it does not spill. So this is done. There's a little extra here. So you can make some more tarts and put it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it very carefully to the oven. And I'm going to again bake it till I get nice caramelized sugar